Welcome and hello, Taurus. This is the reading for April 29th through May 5th, 2019. This is for wherever Taurus falls in your chart. Of course, Sun, Moon, and Rising will be more significant energies. Apply accordingly or not at all. This is not a tarot reading. It is Cartomancy to spark intuitive messages from my spirit guides. The messages may come very differently apart from the cards drawn. And being a general reading, not all messages will apply to all. And me being the queen of Clovers, my readings tend to be less romantic, more life and craft and action oriented, unless I'm using my red deck. So I am using my red deck today. This is me, the queen of Clovers. Um, she is very content, but oh, look at those tired eyes, the poor babies. We think too much. I use a regular deck. Jokers in my deck are leaps of faith. I also leave in this double back card. This is a deception card. It's also thinking incorrectly about a situation card. So, Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. Taurus. Taurus, Taurus, Taurus. My Taurians love like a home-cooked meal for them, romantically speaking. And that's what I feel. I feel like I've ingested a home-cooked meal from somebody who loves me. And that's the energy I'm feeling coming out of last week, going into this weekend's energy. That is a lovely feeling, Taurus. You feel like you're standing in your own power, that feeling. Ooh, yes, Taurus. Taurus, Taurus. A 7 of hearts and a 9 of spades. All right, this is the a double back card, the card of deception or improper thinking, and you were thinking about love last weekend, stuck up all in your head, and also how it affects your recent victories as far as money goes. You've been doing some work with grounding yourself, your home, and maybe even going to school, and how you're moving along in some project or progress. But you're also thinking about how it's affecting your heart. But you're kind of misunderstanding that it's not. Let's see the action cards. I feel like you're misunderstanding that these are not as tied together as they have to be. Your heart is not entirely tied to money. Yeah, you're moving along with money. You're succeeding in some way. I feel like a lot of energy of that feeling, finishing that school year for your kids, or that semester in school for yourself, or maybe end of years coming up at work. Yeah, it's got you thinking about changing, making a change. Winds of change is this ace of air, this ace of spades, changing your tact or where you're heading with things. Definitely really up in your head all about that last week. Let's see what we got coming in for the new week. All new energies. I feel them coming. You're moving with a lot of determination, which doesn't surprise me because you're standing in your power this week. You know, you're not just standing in your power this week, you're standing in your power with a fire sign at your aid and your service. This is a sister, a brother in arms, one of your besties, or definitely a sibling. It could be a mother or father figure, but it's mostly feeling like a sibling, like a common person, perhaps a fellow student or a fellow accountant. I did feel like closing the season of some kind, maybe it's a month end, and you're feeling quite successful about this. It's definitely a victory of some kind, working with this fire sign. Getting somewhere with this fire sign. And it's warmed your heart. You sat down after the battle. A lot of my cards are sitting cards because they're thinking cards, they're pondering cards. But Six of Hearts is just enjoying that victory. That's the big, oh, that's the dinner that I was feeling, like, you know, a lot of wine, a lot of steak. Oh, and that fire sign. Ooh, Ace of Hearts and King of Hearts. All that love that you've been thinking about, it is coming your way through a water sign. He's a goofy guy. Uh, a goofy guy, a goofy girl, gorgeous though, but a little goofy when they open their mouths. And I, for some reason, I think goofy shoes or goofy hat with this king here. And it's a new love. You kind of really opened your heart just a bit. Maybe hanging out with that sister is just what you needed to do. And this is more getting involved in something. I don't feel this is cheating or feeling infidelity. It's more like a group activity, more like you three all went out, you know, as a group. And, you know, this is so you and him or you and her get to spend a little time together. With somebody who's not so pushy that'll get out of your way, that fire sign, because, you know, they can go do their own thing. Advice to get you through this. Interesting. This is definitely meeting somebody new. Let's get some advice here. Ooh. Wow. I feel like this is a victory, a message of victory, a feeling of a win with this fire sign message, a very heated message that you rejected whoever sent you this message, and it was just a win for you because you're on your fire, you're on your game. Because you're feeling like this king of earth. That's the energy that's surrounding this message, is you winning. This fire sign thought they were winning, but you came out as the king of earth, Taurus, and that is the message you sent. You cut them out of your life. You are willing to do that. You've thought it over. This is dark night of the soul type of thinking and pondering, and this past nonsense just needed to go. It's like forgetting somebody who broke your heart 5 years ago, or, you know, you made a decision not to love anybody ever again because of your past relationship. That's gone. That's gone. Who needs it? Who needs it? You don't, because you're saying goodbye. Ending this reading for the week. Before we take a peek at the weekend is the 10 of clubs. 10 of clubs and 10 of spades, I'm sorry, and this 10 of spades tells me you cut this business out. You're opening up your heart again to this other new water sign. Earth and water make great couples. They're a little lazy and they can have that great dinner, but whatever you're mixing with this week, it looks good. It looks like you guys are, let's pull some new energy for the weekend, because it looks like you guys are really just kind of, it's like taking one step right instead of the left you've been doing for like a year or two. You've been focusing on your efforts, and you are doing well enough that you can maybe open up your life to a little something good, something you miss. Woo! All right, the weekend, I have the 5 of diamonds, the 5 of spades, the Jack of diamonds, and the 4 of clovers. Wow. So just when you think everything is going just perfectly fine, maybe you spoke a little too soon. Did you need something from a message from that Jack that maybe you didn't get all the way, and now he's withholding it from you? This changed his message because of that. It's giving you difficulty, trouble sleeping, trouble preparing. So whatever this message was, maybe you came across a little too hard, Taurus. And so another advice to spare yourself a little drama this weekend is whatever this message is, instead, you need to cut them out, sure, but you don't need to be so sharp and so cutting that you end up putting yourself in a rough position. You don't need to make enemies, is what this is saying. So it's not appeasing the Jack, it's not conceding to the Jack, it's not accepting that message as any value, but the only way you're going to rest in your heart about this issue, this 4 of clovers, is if you actually slice more gently when you sever these ties, or sever whatever you need to in this area. It's fun to stomp away in your high heels or your big boots, but this is telling me that if you want to have a much better weekend and maybe a better outlook on things here, you need to tread a little more gently. And I'm not saying concede. Definitely don't concede. Spirit says that for sure, but definitely use those swords, those 10 swords. Do not get them dropped in your own back. Make sure you use those swords against your enemy, because that's your victory card right there. And it's a heady victory, but it's going to result. You're going to find peace over this one way or the next. But I'm going to tell you right now, Taurus, if you really want to ground this message and get to this better place, you need to tread just a little more lightly. All right, thank you, Taurus. I do think you have a very great possible week ahead if you listen to your insides. Please like, subscribe, comment, and donate, of course, to the channel to keep it going. Thank you for listening, and I do hope you guys can find it in your heart to be a little softer about these messages. Just spare yourself a little drama in the upcoming Cinco de Mayo weekend. All right, thank you for watching. I love you.